Hello everyone, I'm your host Nadia Holtz. Welcome to a Washington Wizard preview for NBA betting. To examine the betting value for this team, with us today is professional handicapper Dave Golikoff. Dave, it's always a pleasure to have you with us. How are you today?
Oh, thank you, Nadia. I'm doing good.
Excellent. Okay, so Dave, the Wizard blew a 17-point lead to the Indiana Pacers in Game 4 of the second round of the playoffs last season. Can you walk us through these teams' strengths and then the weaknesses?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as mentioned, this team, they played well last year. They sort of emerged as an underdog that, almost slayed the giant with the Indiana Pacers. They did have a 17-point lead in that game and eventually blew it and blew the series. But you know what? With the Wizards, this is a team that grew last year, and it was a young team that may take away a lot of learning experience from that loss. As far as the X's and O's go of the strengths and weaknesses, the strength of this team comes from the backcourt. Bradley Beal and John Wall, those guys have to be all-stars, and in all honesty, they could be this year. Those guys really elevated their game down the stretch last season, and if they get better, they're both still very young, then we could be looking at a very good Wizards team. However, the weakness with this team is up front. I mean, Marcin Gortat, they did a good job of keeping him, and Nene has played well for them when he's been healthy and stayed healthy for them for the most part, but it's a team that's really thin in the front court. Gortat and Nene are marginal starting, power forward and center. You'd like to see them have more, especially off the bench. If either of those guys get hurt, this team is very thin up there. And the way the NBA goes, a backcourt can only take you so far. So I think the Wizards are going to go as far as Brad Beal and John Wall take them, and that's definitely not going to be enough to knock off the Cavaliers or the Chicago Bulls.
Okay, yeah, definitely Wall and Beal are both very solid players as individuals. I guess together they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. So that said, what is your outlook for the Wizards in general, and do you think they can overtake Chicago, Miami, and Atlanta for the number 2 seed behind the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Well, they can't overtake Chicago unless Chicago suffers another Derrick Rose injury. I just don't see that happening. Washington, maybe a team on the rise. That's a debate that most people would probably have, but I think the majority would say this is the team that's getting better or headed in the right direction, but they're not on the level of the Chicago Bulls, and they would need to beat the Bulls, in their division to get that second seed. I don't see that happening at all. But at the same time, when you see where Miami's at, when you see where Atlanta's at, I do think the Wizards are better than both of those teams. The Wizards, in my opinion, they're one of those, choose your own adventure type of a play in terms of their regular season win total. I mean, if you believe that this team, if you believe in John Wall and you believe in Brad Beal, you believe those youngsters are going to get better, then I think over is a legitimately good play on the regular season win total. If you're skeptical of those guys, if you're skeptical of the front court staying healthy or Gortat playing as well as he did now that he has his contract in hand, then I would bet the under.
Okay.
It's sort of a pick your poison team. I think different people have different perspectives on this team. I think they're going to be a team on the rise. I would probably say they go over the number, but I totally understand where other people are coming from. And again, just to answer your question, there's no way they're going to be better than the Chicago Bulls, or the Cavaliers. So this team's looking at, maybe a 4th seed at best.
Dave, thank you so much. We really appreciate your feedback. I hope you have a good rest of the day.
Okay, thank you.
For SBR Picks, this is Nadia Holtz.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.